Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are, and I hope you're staying safe. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to report income and taxes when it comes to Form I-864 Affidavit of Support. I do have a video on my channel that I will pop on the screen right now. So in that video, I talk in more detail about Form I-864. I talk about some of the most confusing parts, especially calculating household size. But I have been receiving more questions about reporting income and taxes on the Affidavit of Support. Okay, so let's jump right into it. First of all, when you are including taxes as proof of income, you should only be including federal tax returns, not state, federal only. You can either attach your own copies of tax returns, or you can request a tax transcript from the IRS. And you can do that by going to irs.gov. There is a way to request your tax transcript online. You must also include copies of your W-2s or 1099s. And another important thing, both W-2s and 1099s are small slips of paper. So you cannot just attach copies of those just like that in your taxes. You should be making a copy on a blank regular printer size sheet of paper, because just like with photographs that you would provide for your petition for alien relative, for example, photographs of your marriage, you cannot just attach those as regular photos. You also have to somehow attach them on a piece of paper or provide a copy of those photos on a piece of paper. Same applies to W-2s and 1099s. They're small and they can get easily lost, and you would want to make sure that they are available with your evidence, okay? And you should be submitting most recent year's tax returns. Every year, the national tax deadline is April 15th. If you are sending in your immigration application after April 15th of the year, you should have already filed tax returns for the previous year. So these are the taxes that you will be submitting. If you are sending in your immigration application prior to April 15th, it is okay if you have not yet filed your taxes for most recent year to provide taxes for the year that you have. Please keep in mind that this year, 2021, the tax deadline has been extended until May 17th. However, it is a chance that by the time you have your green card interview, they may ask for newly filed taxes, okay? If you have not included most recent taxes, you should include an explanation why. There may be several reasons, right? So first one, you still have not received your social security number or your tax identification number, TIN. You can include an explanation for that. Maybe you can include a copy or some kind of receipt saying that you have submitted an application for those two. Next, maybe you have an extension. You also want to include some kind of explanation for that. Or maybe you were not required to file taxes because you were a student in the previous year, so you may want to include a typed explanation of that and maybe attach an official transcript or something showing that you have been a full-time student. Now, let's talk about Part 6, Question 7 on the form. As you can see, it asks, my current individual annual income is. This question can be confusing because it is asking for you to provide current income, meaning the income you typically earn or would have or projected to earn between January 1st and December 31st of the year during which you're filing your application. So what you may do is you may simply take your hourly wage and multiply it by the amount of hours you have worked already or projected to work until the end of this year and calculate your income that way. For some people, you may have to request a letter from your employer saying how much your pay rate is and what your income is, what your salary is, okay? You may also add any bonuses that you anticipate to receive or have earned already. It is easier to fill out this form if you're completing your application towards the end of the year, because by then you kind of already know how much you have earned. But if you are filling out this application in January and you are yet to earn your salary for the year, it is asking for the approximation. And in the form instructions, it does say that it's not mandatory that you provide proof or letter from your employer or something. However, they may request that later if they have any questions. If you have been working the same job for the past few years and nothing has changed and your salary approximately stayed the same, you can just rely on your previous year's W-2s to kind of say how much you're earning. Another thing, it is asking for individual income. So it is only asking for the amount of money that you yourself, the sponsor, without any family members, are expected to make, regardless of your tax filing status. Even if you have filed taxes jointly because you're married, you do not have to include your spouse's income in here. It is only your projected or your current income. If you're using household members, obviously in the lines later on, as you can see, you can input their income as well. And now when we move on to part 6, question 20, it is asking my current annual household income. So here is when you would add up whatever you have written for yourself and whatever you have written for your household members, and here you will put in a total number. If you're married filing jointly, you still have an option to only use your income as a sponsor. If you are planning to use your spouse's income, you will have to fill out form I-864A. This is the contract between you and the household member, basically for them to allow you to also use their income to supplement your income. You will also be including a copy of their W-2s, and you also want to include a copy of your marriage certificate proving that you guys indeed are married. And if you are a joint sponsor and you are helping sponsor a large family of immigrants, and you're also asking your spouse, for example, to pull in their income, now you, the joint sponsor, are going to be filling out form I-864 and also form I-864A, and your household member will be signing off on it as well. Please remember that as a joint sponsor, you will be counting in the prospective immigrant or immigrants that you're sponsoring as part of your household. So you have to be able to meet the income requirement for that as well. And please remember that as a petitioner, you're always going to be the first sponsor. And even if you, the petitioner, are not making any income at all and you're going to be using a joint sponsor, you will still have to fill out form I-864. You will just have to put your income at 0 or whatever your income is. Next, let's talk about part 6, questions 23, 24. Again, you will have to here write in taxes from previous year or years. Let's talk about whether or not you will be reporting adjusted gross income or total income. In the form instruction, it specifically says that for the purposes of the affidavit, your total income will be used to calculate your income. If you have filed forms 1040 and 1040A, you will only be providing adjusted gross income if you have used form 1040EZ. So when you're looking at your taxes, there will be a line that says your total income is, and this is the one you will be using. And again, if you're not using your spouse to help you out, you should not be writing their name anywhere in this application, and you should not be filling out form I-864A. So I hope this cleared up some questions for you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are. Subscribe if you haven't already, and good luck with your application, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.